Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Well, we have a brand new season, and I've got to say, I am really impressed with what we have available to us. But before we jump into all that good stuff, I just want to say, please hit that subscribe button, because it really does help the channel out. Alright, so, what have we got? Straight away, we have some pretty sweet looking 3D commanders. And yes, I know, I'll be the first to say that I can't believe I'm the one saying that. Initially, when 3D Commanders came out, I thought they were an absolute joke, a waste of time, nonsense. So, I'm eating my own words. I'll admit it. These guys, these commanders, they're pretty cool. I like them. I really do. And they come with a 130% XP boost, so even better than your regular standard commanders that's running 100%. An extra 30% makes a difference, especially when you get up to the 9th skill. That does make a big difference. But the commanders are not the reason for this video. Today I want to take a look at the Sturmpanzer V, or otherwise known as the Creature, and this is the, I want to call it the deluxe season. The word they use isn't deluxe, is it? No, it's not.
Oh, right.
The big season pass, whatever the word for that is, whatever they use. The ultimate season pass, that's it. It's the ultimate season pass tank. This is the one you get with it. And my first impressions of this thing are, it's good. It's very good, and it's worth the gold. Its closest rival in-game, in my opinion at the moment, is the Dreadnaught KV-2. On paper, the Dreadnaught looks like the stronger tank. The only paper stat where it falls behind is mobility. When it actually comes to playing this tank, I found that this slight decrease in things like penetration, damage, and hit points is all made up for by the Sturmpanzer. It's all made up for by its mobility. The end of this game that you're watching right now is actually a really good example of why I like that compromise and why I think that compromise works. The Dreadnought is slow. There's no two ways about it. The Dreadnought is slow. It's not as slow as the KV-2 at tier 6, but it's still like, it can be annoyingly slow sometimes, and it does no good having this amazing weapon if you can't actually get to where you would be effective. You know, you can have the best gun in the world, but if you've got no decent targets to shoot at, you're useless. The Sturmpanzer bridges that sort of the gap that the Dreadnought has. It feels very, very good to play. It can hold its own, and it can dish out its own fair share of damage. And I've only got 3 skills on this crew, and the reload for the Sturmpanzer is a little over 14 seconds. The Dreadnought comes in at over 19 seconds. Now that is, I'd say, when you're playing heavies, anything above 13 seconds for a reload feels like a long time. The Dreadnought feels like a long time. The Sturmpanzer it's just on the cusp there. It's just on the limit of what feels like a long time. The 5 seconds between 14 and 19 and the additional mobility for the Sturmpanzer, that's what makes the difference with this thing. That's where it comes into its own, and it's not just the paper stats for this tank that make a difference. The Dreadnought is essentially, well, it's the KV-2. It's just a metal box on tracks, and the Dreadnought's got 75 to 90 millimeters of armor on the turret. Most guns will just go straight through that, not a problem. The Sturmpanzer has 100 millimeters of armor on the cupola, or the commander's hatch, and 110 on the gun mantlet. So what that means is, playing the Sturmpanzer hull down is a realistic option. It really is. Playing the Dreadnought hull down isn't really, because you pull up to the ridge and your turret is exposed. This massive metal box is exposed. You've got to wait for your aim. You're going to get shot in that time. Yeah, you'll probably get a great shot off. That's great, fantastic. But you're taking hits. You've got your one shot off, and then you've got to pull back slowly, and you get hit even more. It can just be the trade-off between being shot at and the damage you do just sometimes doesn't feel like it's quite worth it, in my opinion. But I feel that the Sturmpanzer really does come in. It wipes that issue away. It doesn't feel like there's a problem when you want to play it the way you want to play it. And this might sound weird, but the Sturmpanzer feels like a very smooth tank to play. In my opinion, it feels very smooth, and it just flows. The reload flows. The time it takes to aim the gun, it's not too fast, it's not too slow. It's just there. It just flows in with the gameplay, and I just like it. I mean, I think it is better than the Dreadnaught, and the Dreadnaught is a good tank. It is in its own right. You can't take that away from it. It really is. But I've only got 3 skills on this thing right now, and I can only imagine how good it will be once you've got all the gun handling skills on the crew in conjunction with Deadeye. I mean, this massive gun in conjunction with Deadeye, you'll be taking out modules and crews every single shot. It's going to be an absolute beast once you've got the crew leveled up. The only key thing I would say that will make a huge difference immediately when you start playing this thing is you should have the advanced reload equipment. The reload might only be 14 seconds, but if you can switch ammo freely, then you can really save yourself some trouble. Because, you know, I've had it several times where I was shooting at a tier 5, and the first game I played in this thing, I was shooting a tier 5, and that's just standard HE, not a problem. And then out of nowhere, an Oni appears. So straight away, in goes the gold, because he's side onto me, and I just want to go straight through his side and do 700 damage to him. And if I didn't have the advanced reload equipment, I couldn't have done that. It helps you get out of some really tight situations when you need it most. So all in all, I think this is a great tank, and I really do think it's worth paying the extra to get the tank. You get the crew, you get the first 25 levels of the season auto completed for you. If there was ever a bargain, I think this is it. I really do think this is it. So that just about rounds up my overview of the Sturmpanzer V, or the creature. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If not, a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe, and as always, I hope you're all still keeping safe, and I will see you out there.